I love medical dramas. One of my favourites is Coma, which came out just before I went up to Oxford as a medical student.
Where is the patient?
Coming right down, Dr. Cohen.
You enter a major metropolitan hospital for routine surgery.
What's the matter?
I don't know. Something goes wrong.
Looking back on it now, of course it looks quite dated, but still very familiar. The rhythm, the pace and the atmosphere of working in an operating theatre haven't really changed that much over the years. I've been a consultant now for over 20 years and I'm still learning new things. I feel very lucky to be able to do such a rewarding job. But what's it really like being a surgeon? Keep watching and I'll try to explain.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players.
Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage, and nowhere is that more true than in an operating theatre. It's not called a theatre for nothing. There are moments of humour, high drama and pathos, but mostly we're all just getting on with the work. Being a surgeon is a way of life. You go through all sorts of different stages during your career, all of them quite different and distinct. Nothing quite prepares you for the day that you start as a consultant though. To see your name at the end of the patient's bed is thrilling but also a bit terrifying. You've finally arrived, this is your career endpoint and the buck stops with you now. But you're full of enthusiasm, energy and new ideas. Becoming a consultant for me was the beginning of another journey of self-discovery. Here I was in a hospital in which I'd never worked before, building up a team of people around me so that we could do the best for our patients. I felt very privileged to work with such wonderful people around me who helped me to develop the skills needed to be a consultant. It takes a couple of years of experience to gain the insight and confidence to do complex surgery quickly, consistently and successfully. I loved it and I relished the challenges that came my way. But just when you think you're invincible, you get your first complication. It's nobody else's fault but yours. You quickly realise that despite your best efforts, things don't always work out well. It's always terribly hard breaking bad news to patients when things haven't gone well, especially when it's because of the surgery that you've done for them. I've seen surgeons over the years who struggle to cope with this. What I learned from dealing with my own complications is that it's always best to be open, honest and realistic with your patients. If something goes wrong, it's my problem as much as theirs, and it's my duty to put things right. Do as you would be done by is how I've approached my surgical life. In the second act, you hit your groove, your skills are finely polished and honed, and you really start to understand the way that surgery works, at least in your own hands. There might have been a few crashes on the way, but you've survived them and hopefully learned how to avoid them again in the future. If you've got a particular skill or research interest, people want to hear you talk about it. There was a time when I was travelling to conferences and meetings all over the world. New York, London, Paris, Munich. I loved the long haul journeys best. Turn left, a glass of fizz, and a few days in Tokyo, Sydney, San Diego. You had to sing for your supper though. Preparing lectures, chairing sessions and fielding questions. It was quite hard work. Coming home tired, jet-lagged and getting straight back to work was sometimes very difficult. It was fun whilst it lasted though. It's often said that a good surgeon is someone who knows when not to operate. It's so true. In the final act of a surgeon's career comes the acceptance of who you are and the knowledge that your experience and judgment are just as important as your technical skills. I'll tell you all about that next time. Thanks for watching.